Only Yesterday might not be the kind of movie that pops up in your head when you think of Studio Ghibli, but it sure is the kind that pops up in mine. Now granted, I haven't seen enough Ghibli films yet, but the ones I've been attached to the most have been the ones grounded in a real place and time. For some, that kind of setting seems strange for an animation and is best suited for the live-action cinema, but Ghibli knows how to use their fantastical animation to remind people that the real world is great and you need to go touch grass. So true to life, Only Yesterday is one of the best examples of Studio Ghibli's anti-escapism themes. The film follows an unmarried 20-something named Taiko who has lived her whole life in Tokyo. She decides to use her vacation days to go out to the countryside and work in the fields, as she had previously done last summer. As she leaves for her trip, memories from her childhood start to come back to her. The majority of the film's first half is spent in memories, and at first I was picking together what the point of these memories were, but it soon became clear that this was not simply a nostalgia trip. Her memories show her as a bit of an outlier. She struggles with math, is a picky eater, and it always seems like something is bothering her mother. In the present, her mother really wants her to get married and thinks her time is running out. It seems that Taiko can never really satisfy her mother. When she reaches the countryside, she meets Toshio. She had a brief encounter with him before in the previous summer, but only he seems to remember it. He is passionate about the countryside and is happy working as a farmer. She remembers an elementary school romance she had with a baseball player because they both liked cloudy days. There are only a few moments Taiko can recall someone having an equal appreciation for something she liked, or at least empathizing with her. As she tends to the fields and feels fulfilled by her work, she starts to feel at home. She had a hard time doing what she wanted to as a child. Her additional line in a school play is rejected during rehearsal, but when she adds to her performance with no words at all, she is finally recognized for her creativeness. A college play even offers her to play a role they need a child for, and it finally seems like she is being seen and heard. She is finally able to stick out, but her father shuts down the idea because he sees nothing good coming from show business. When another girl gets offered the role, Taiko's mother tells her to not tell anyone she was offered it first, so that the girl doesn't get upset. Taiko is meant to carry this rejection alone. The sternness of her mother as she walks away shows that Taiko's mother probably has had to live with stopping her pursuits as well, and she believes that this is what her daughter must do. Toshio also speaks of his childhood, and we learn that he too has had his own struggle. He wanted to go to school in Tokyo, but his father told him he couldn't, and instead wanted him to be a farmer. This moment might be what sparks a romance in another film, two people with their own tragedies being united in grief, but that's not what this film does. Instead, what we see is how, even though Toshio was forced to be a farmer, he still made it into something he loved. After being told by her mother to keep the tragedy to herself, Taiko does not simply wallow in that sadness. She marches to stay positive for the future and remains unafraid to be herself. These are two people that, despite their own struggle and isolation, they were both able to stay resilient. There is a moment where the two are looking out on the countryside. Taiko mentions how much she loves nature. Toshio laughs a little because he hears that a lot from city people and finds it funny that what they are actually looking at is man-made. The fields cleared out, the waterways, and even the larger patches of trees on the mountains were planted. The valley is a product of a collaboration of humans and nature. People are not above nature, but are a part of it. You are shaped by your environment, but you also shape the environment. She made this place home, and it wasn't something that just came to her. A home is not a home unless you make it so. Realizing how much of an impact one has on the space they inhabit can be an incredible moment of self-actualization. A romance is born not out of two people relating to one another's tragic memories, but a mutual love for the strength they had despite that. This life is something you build. The ending of this film is so satisfying, and it's really dumb that HBO tries to take you out of it, since it technically happens during the end credits. Let me watch the movie, HBO. Let me use your app. I want to use your app. David Zaslav, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?